Handbrake check. What's up, everybody? My name is Elliott, and welcome to another vlog on the channel. Today, we are here with Jacob. Also, we are here with the 2020 Toyota Camry. The whole Camry as a car is the industry standard version of car. This is the kind of car you would get if you really don't care and you really aren't into cars.
White bread.
It is. It's white bread. This is an SE model, not the base model. That's just an L, I believe. This one is $26,000. It's like 2 tiers up from the base model, which makes it pretty okay. In fact, this whole car is what I would describe as okay. There's nothing really remarkable about it. There's nothing really good about it, but there's also nothing really bad about it. So today we're going to take a quick gander around the 2020 Camry and then get it out on the road and see how all right it drives. All right, let's get straight to it and look at this. What would you say? Typical exterior. The exterior is, unremarkable, but it's not offensive and it's not bad. It's just car. As you can see, this is an Oklahoma tag because once again, this is a rental car, but this time it's from the good folks at Enterprise Rental Car. It really has no impact on the rest of this car, unlike the Equinox review, because that was a rental car and it was in bad condition. This is a rental car and it's in okay condition. There's 12 different trim levels of this car, which is probably 9 too many trim levels, if you have to ask me. These tires are called Kinergy tires from Hankook, but they say that they are good in sun, rain, snow, the Olympics, and bacon. I don't know.
Apparently, to own this car, you have to be able to read Egyptian hieroglyph. Fire?
Yeah, these things are fire rated. Imagine. They're like, yeah, it's pretty good. It's good gas mileage, low rolling resistance, good tread wear. You can drive straight through fire. And the rest of the exterior styling is inoffensive. I mean, I already used inoffensive. What do we got here on the info list?
Garden variety.
Yes. The rest of the exterior of this car is very garden variety. Interior-wise, it is an okay place to be. Nothing crazy. You've got your standard infotainment. You do have paddle shifters. It's got automatic high beams, different things. It does have one of these pointless storage cubbies. That is big enough for approximately one thing of Tic Tacs, and that's it. And if you were to put your Tic Tacs in there, 100% chance you'd forget them. Back seats, you do have enough room. You can see my daughter has left some pearls in here. Obviously, there's enough room for a car seat. But one weird thing, these back headrests, you cannot raise them. They are just kind of fixed in place. Pretty weird, but not a bad thing. It's just, how would you describe it?
Adequate.
It's an adequate thing. Now, let's get under the hood and see what's powering this beast of a Camry. All right, and there it is. That is the 2.5 liter, 203 horsepower, 4-cylinder. That is really nothing special to look at. I'm not just saying this because of the different cars that I've looked at this year. It really is just kind of a run-of-the-mill engine bay. There's really nothing to point out in here other than it has an absurd amount of vacuum lines.
Unremarkable.
Yeah, unremarkable.
Have we used that one yet?
I think we might have. I don't know. We'll go through.
Unimaginative.
It is unimaginative. There was zero imagination put into this engine bay. But what is cool, and I'll give them props for, is that part of the radar cruise control system is built into this Toyota symbol here. Another thing that I do appreciate is that it has gas shocks to hold up the hood. I kind of figured something on this trim level at this price would need a hood prop, but I'm glad that it has gas shocks. That is very par for the course for a very okay car. The only other exterior thing, and I will say it's something about how this car is optioned. Big gripe, big gripe. Still needs a physical key. So this thing has radar adaptive cruise control, automatic climate control, all of the normal bells and whistles you'd expect, but you still need a key. Now on the other trim levels, they come with, keyless entry, but it was a weird feature. I've never in my life seen a car that has radar cruise control, but still needs a physical key. Let's go get this thing out on the road and see how all right it drives. Because, all right, so we have to actually put a key in. Feels like the 90s. Oh, the other thing that's important to note on this car, Jacob, that I want you to keep in mind is there is no smoking. And then if you were thinking about it, there is no smoking. So try not to smoke cigarettes in this thing.
What about in the back seat?
There's nothing. I think you can smoke back there.
In the back seat.
Yeah, so you're good. What do you think, Jacob?
Well, I just love that you did your journalistic due diligence and you did a lot of research on this car. As you can see, we have the post-it note stats of the actual car, and then all of these go to buzzwords.
They're all words that are applicable to the car. What I want to do is try to use all of them. So I've provided you with a Sharpie to use them, check them off as we go if you want.
I haven't been checking them off.
That's all right.
I mean, since this is vlog style, you're not allowed to let go of the camera the whole time, right?
No, I can say here. You can hold it.
I don't know the rules.
There aren't any rules. You're making them up. We're making them up as we go. That's the beauty.
How much does it bother you having a keychain rubbing your knee as you turn?
It pains me. All right, so we have set our adaptive cruise control up. I've gone over the lane and it's mad about me. This, for me, takes a lot of the stress out of a drive, is having the radar cruise control, because I'm very impatient. And if I have it set at 45 or whatever, and you can't go fast enough, just the mere thought of canceling it, you're like, oh God, I'm wasting time. But having this kind of slow down and speed up during those 2 or 3 to 5 mile an hour speed differences really de-stresses the drive, even more so on the highway. But one gripe that I have with this one, which isn't necessarily bad, every system's different, this one will not allow you to stop. Some of these adaptive cruise control systems will allow you to come to a full stop and then resume going once traffic starts moving again. So here we are, we're slowing down, and then it just says radar ready, and then it slowly lets off the brake as I'm would have run into the back of somebody.
Into the back of a Subaru.
It's kind of a dangerous feature.
Hey, there's another Camry.
Oh, well, I mean, we could probably play that game all day. But yeah, it's kind of a dangerous feature if you were to be solely relying on it, I imagine. I mean, but you got to stay heads up even with these safety features. I'm just really honestly happy it has it. I don't really care. I'd much rather it have it and tell me to, that I need to actually wake up after 20 miles an hour than have it not happen at all. Okay, so anyway, you have this eco indicator, and it's interesting, the symbols they've chosen to demonstrate being economical, I guess, would be the symbol for the city of Keystone, Colorado, a very, very modern bird, and I don't know what you'd call that, a
fleet of sailboats.
Yeah, sailboats, possibly a tire tread, maybe a leaf.
Or sideways wheat chaff.
Yeah. The other funny thing about it is if you're driving and you put the transmission into S, it just grays out the eco indicator entirely. But I would like to see if I can be eco in sport. It's a challenge.
I think it'd be funny if they put a dead bird on the display. When you go into sport, it just shows a dead bird. Yeah, like a dead
leaf wilts.
Yeah. The sun just blacks out.
Overall, Jacob, how would you describe this passenger experience in the Camry?
Vanilla.
Okay, yeah. Well, check it off. Okay. But one thing that I will say is negative is this has that feature that I've talked about in the Mazda before. It has the ability to have a map.
But it doesn't have a map.
When you click it, it says navigation app is not installed. So
How
you
much
have
of
to
an option
pay
is that?
Extra to get the thing, even though it's totally capable of it. The antenna and all the expensive stuff is already here. And they just make you pay extra few $100s to get the map. Yeah. And the thing is, it's equipped with Apple CarPlay, so you don't even need it. It's just like this weird gatekeeping BS.
At this point, it should be, if the car has a screen, it should just be standard.
Exactly.
It's 2020.
Or don't include the antenna and all that stuff.
Well, but they need the antenna because they're spying on us as this thing.
Yes. For you conspiracy theorists out there or who are worried about the government tracking you, look what Toyota has included here. This says, vehicle transmission is on. Your vehicle wirelessly transmits location, driving, and vehicle health data to deliver your services for internal research and data analysis. So that is not a rental car thing. That is Toyota monitoring your throttle input and your braking input. They're keeping an eye on you, but it's for research purposes. They're not...
But you know what's hilarious? The website they give you is toyota.com/privacy. So what does that tell you?
Maybe they're just going to give you information about how much privacy you don't have.
Yeah.
All right, so we are now in the Camry's home environment, suburbia, or just the only neighborhood with curves in our area.
Yep.
To test out the Sport Tune suspension on the Camry SE.
That's the great thing about these cars is you really are just inconspicuous as you're testing the handling because you're not going fast enough, and you're in a brown Toyota. Well, the other thing we're going to test out is see if Toyota gives us a call when I give it some actual throttle here. We're in S, and I'm paddle shifting it. To a passerby, it just sounds like you don't know how to take your car out of sport mode.
Yes, because we're not going that fast.
It's just making a lot of noise.
It just sounds like we are in the wrong gear. Oh, it upshifted for me. We're back in D. The eco indicator is happy again. This neighborhood is none the wiser that we just tore through here, Camry style.
Yeah, so, it would take a very astute Karen to notice.
Our MPGs have suffered. You can see this was cruising And then that high speed run over here just netted us bad MPGs.
We're back into friendly polar bear mode too.
Yeah, thank goodness. It's happy enough that it has displayed eco. Thank goodness.
This is, though, where this car belongs.
Yes.
Just
Suburbia.
Suburbia. Or at any airport with a Hertz. Well, no, rest in peace, Hertz. No link in the description below.
Yeah, I mean, it's got good, consistent performance. The other thing is that I actually really do hope we're doing this. If Toyota's really, you know, getting this data, I hope we're skewing the numbers a little bit with this throttle input. They're like, God, somebody actually went wide open throttle in a Camry today.
When you only have 200 horsepower, you can just romp on it all day long.
Just ring it out. And this thing's quiet. It's just muffled to all hell. You're not bothering anybody and you're not speeding. All right, I'm going to let Jacob out for some beauty shots. Here are some of the shots of this car looking
orthodox.
What follows are some pretty orthodox exterior shots. Hold on, I need to check that one off.
Brown.
Ooh, Nissan Leaf.
See?
These are the kind of cars you spot in the Camry.
There's a cop.
Gracious. Oh. I'm not.
What am I thinking?
Yeah, what are you worried about? I know that you're like, there's a cop. I'm like, okay, I'm going about exactly the speed limit in the most unassuming car that we've driven in years. So one thing that this car does have, and a lot of cars have, is a cutout so that if you have it in neutral or park and you give it gas, it won't accidentally redline the engine, because sometimes people accidentally put it in neutral rather than drive, and they just keep applying throttle because they're wondering why they're not moving, and they just redline their engine and it's bad. But luckily manufacturers have thought of this, and this car has that cutout, and the result is that it kind of sounds like launch control. So check it out.
Dude, that just sounds pretty good. That sounds...
yeah, it does like rally car, like anti-lag start.
It sounds like anti-lag. That's the coolest version of that I've seen in a car.
Let's do it again.
And then it like levels out. It sounds like it's backfiring.
Let's get an outside shot.
Go for it. Yep. Actually sounds badass. I was waiting for a flame, to be completely honest.
The downside of this is there is no launch control. It's just all this noise. So if you were at a stoplight and you hit somebody with that, they'd be like, "Oh my God, this Camry's gonna launch on me."
I mean,
but you could neutral drop it. I can't. I want to get my deposit back.
Yeah.
Anyway, just thought that was interesting.
Toyota, if you ever decide to make your own sports car, use that as the launch control because it sounds tight. Who says tight? Because it...
No, it sounds tight. It's fine.
Did you say tight?
Yeah, I said tight. This thing, I bet you could like drift it slightly. Handbrake check. It works. It's a foot brake, but you have to kick it to get it back off.
Oh, so it was locked.
So it clicks down. So listen. But look at this.
Jesus.
Oh, that's funny.
Cloud of smoke and a flat spot on the rear tires.
Probably, but rental.
Hopefully the rental company doesn't see this.
True. Yeah. All right, let's get this thing back. That was fun. Actually, no, it was not fun. It was usual.
Not bad.
It was not bad, yes. So if you haven't picked up on this from the theme of this video, is this car is okay. There is nothing good and there is nothing bad about it. It is car. And that's why I've compiled this list of descriptive words.
It's very middling.
Oh, I left good in there.
Well, I kind of lost count. I'd stopped marking these off.
This car is fine. And it is middling. And I would say it's definitely passable.
Passable, but at the same time, tolerable.
Automotive journalists should print out words that they have to use more often.
It would make things more interesting. Dude, I think we spent more time on this road test than we did the M5.
We 100% did. But that's also a testament to the car. Mm-hmm. We drove an M5 just yesterday, and here we are really putting the Camry through its paces. All right, so we are back from driving the Camry. How would you rate it as a passenger, Jacob?
So-so.
It was so-so. As a driver, I would say that it was very run-of-the-mill, and that's pretty much how I would describe the entire car. It's fine. It is okay. It is not good, it's not great, it's not bad, it's not awful, it's average. And that's why this is one of, if not the best-selling cars in America. It actually is quite a lot of vehicle for $26,000. The adaptive cruise and climate control alone were enough to sell me. But the bad points were that it still needed a key, and that's just pretty crazy in 2020. But all of that, plus a pretty good driving experience, equals an average to okay car. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you already haven't. Once again, my name is Elliott. Thanks again to Jacob for being here. Always good to have him on the vlog. And other than that, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the other normal YouTube stuff, and I will see you on the next video. It kind of looks like a parking ticket. And then people pick it up and they're like, oh, these just are words that I would use to describe this car.
That car left a distinct smell of brake pad and rotor. Honestly, trying to figure out how to use some of these, like, to describe the
and
car.
I've been driving this car for a week. So,
like, regulation.
Yeah, dude, that's radio, pretty regulation.
Okay.
I mean, there's not a whole lot else we can cover about this thing.
I literally have more descriptive words here than the car merits, and that's saying something.
You're welcome.